Amanda here from Scrimpingmommy.co.uk. Thanks for joining me today and I hope you've had a lovely weekend. So today I'm going to make a very special card. It's a sympathy card. They're always difficult to make, but you know they really are appreciated when they're sent. So I just thought I'd make one because I do know a special friend who needs one right now. So I'm using the beautiful Tasteful Textures, and I do have the bundle, which is the Tasteful Textures stamp and the Tasteful background dies. So I've cut my card base to, this is 11 3/4 by 4 1/8, and I've just folded it in the middle. And this one is 4 inches by 5 3/4, I think. And this is Calypso, no it's not, it's Coastal Cabana, and I'm going to use Coastal Cabana ink and taking this lovely, almost vintage style stamp here, I'm going to stamp a background. Okay. So, decide which way up I like it. I think I like it that way. And we're just going to stamp fairly random, but not too. I do want a pattern running through. Okay. And that's giving me a lovely custom background with that beautiful stamp. You can put as many or as few as you like on there. Absolutely up to you. I'm just going to quickly grab my very, very high-tech posh cleaner for my mat, which is a old towel. And I'm just going to bob that to one side to dry for one moment. Now I'm going to do something I don't do very often, and that is bring in my die cut machine, my very old die cut machine with plates that I make last forever and a day. And I've got a piece of Whisper White cardstock here. Now I'm taking the die, one of the dies from the Tasteful backgrounds, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to die cut that. So I'm putting it quite central. The reason being, I'm going to die cut it and then I'm going to go over it with one of the stitched shape thinlets, and this is the largest square one. Okay, so I've put that on there fairly central because I want room to be able to re-die cut over the top. I'm putting my plate over the top, okay, and I am pushing that through. Now my sandwich is the full sandwich with all, mine's the one with all of the adjustable flaps. It's quite an old one. So I've just got it on the top layer with just the 2 plates. Now I always go backwards and forwards a couple of times. Okay, this isn't a terribly detailed die, it's quite a straightforward one, so I won't have any problems getting the detail out there. Alright, so I'm just going to carefully remove the top plate, and I'm going to just leave that all in place there, and I'm going to take that out. Just going to carefully take that out. I'm just going to leave all of those pieces there a moment. I'm not going to mess with it. And then I'm just going to add my stitched squares. Stitched shape framelets. I'll leave everything that I've used over on my blog, so if you're wondering what I've used, it will always be there, and the details will be in the description box below. So I'm just going to put that where I want it, and then to make sure it doesn't slip, I'm just adding a little bit of washi tape. Okay, and then I'm going to carefully put the plate back on. Even though I've got washi tape on, I'm still super careful, and I'm going to run that back through my big shot. Okay, just the once will be fine. And then just very carefully peel back the washi tape. Very carefully, because I don't want it to rip the card. Okay, I try not to get the washi tape on the other side of the die, because if it does just take the surface of the cardstock off like it has there, then your die cut's spoilt. So I put it right on the edge of the die and then to the other side. Okay, so I'll remove that now. Alright, now these little, what they call, you know, negative spaces, I've seen people use them on other cards, so you could save them. Okay, and that's cut out that. So, what other thing that I have die cut, and I've done this beforehand, let me just move that out of the way, and move these out of the way, like so. Throw those little bits in the bin. I have taken from the Written with Words, I think it's called, Thinlet set, die set. They keep changing the names of what we're meant to call them, I can't remember. But I've taken the word sympathy. Now what I did was, I did attach my cardstock to some of the self-adhesive sheet, okay? And what I do when I'm cutting that one is more detailed. So as I'm running that through on the cardstock, I run it backwards and forwards several times. Okay, and then I'll stop and I will see if I can lift that die out. If I can lift the die out, if I can't lift it out, I'll leave it. If it doesn't come out straight away, release it, I will leave it and I'll run it back through again. If the whole shape lifts out really easily, I'll lift it out and then I have a look at the back and make sure that all of those little pieces have cut, and you can tell if they've cut because you can see that the metal's cut all the way through. And another way that I test is I leave it still in the die and then I get my pokey tool and see if the pieces will poke out easily. Okay, if they don't poke out easily, I'll leave the word in place and I'll run it back through again, because sometimes, because you've used that self-adhesive sheet, it needs a little extra boost. Okay, and now that is perfect. I can gently remove that, and it does have the self-adhesive sheet on the back. Now what I generally do as well is I will cut two and I will layer them up. Okay, that's another tip. It just makes that a little bit more sturdy. You don't have to, and I'm not going to today. Today we're having a single layer. So we can remove this now, okay, and start and assemble our card. It's a pretty straightforward card. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to glue my stamped background onto my card base. Alrighty, and if you're wondering why I'm not using Stampin' Up! Glue, it's because I can't get it. I don't want to talk about it. It's quite a depressing state of affairs with the customs in Europe, and we can't have our glue. So, I'd rather just not talk about it. Oh dear me. There we go. Alright, and then I'm just going to grab some dimensionals, which I've forgotten to bring to the table, but luckily nothing's far away from my reach, as it were. And I don't want that one. That one's gone funny, I don't want that one. I'm going to attach some dimensionals, and there's room on here to attach one on each of the four corners. Okay, it sits beautifully inside that large stitched edge square. Okay, and then we can just remove the backing from there, and then decide whereabouts you'd like it on your card. I'm going pretty central, just making sure I'm still in shot. So I'm going pretty central, but not fully central. I know what I mean. So there, so that has got some lovely dimension to it. Alright, and you can see the beautiful pattern through the beautiful shapes and cuts there. I think it's a really, really lovely statement piece, that. It's beautiful. So now with Sympathy, very straightforward. I've got some of this ribbon. I think this is actually a retired one, but I just thought the colours matched beautifully. You could use anything, and I just want it to protrude slightly either side of the square there, just because it just looks nice, not for any particular, you know, reason. And I'm just cutting each end at a little slant, one going that way and one going that way, okay? And then I can attach that with some tear tape. I've got some narrow tear tape here from my crafty stash, or you could glue it if you've got time to wait for it to dry. That'd be perfect. Try and get that tape off of there without losing the will to live. Oh, well done, it's come off straight away. Alright, and then I'm going to attach that just as straight as I can, but just a little bit further down. Okay, like so. And that's on there nicely. And then with my wording, I've already got the adhesive backing on, so all I've got to do is remove that adhesive backing. I think it's got adhesive backing on. Did I put... You know when you start to doubt whether you did something? I'm quite sure I did put the adhesive backing on. I did. And you just need a pokey tool. It's not normally difficult to remove, it's just that it's a very delicate, thinly cut word. Okay? It's really... and it's a lot easier than trying to glue it. And then all you've got to do then is look for a nice... Make sure you've got it spaced nicely. I'm happy with that, okay? Get it sat sort of straight and then press that into the fibres of the ribbon and that will stay. And there you have your sympathy card. So there's the first one I made. Now on this one I did double the words up. You can, from here, you can see a difference. It just looks that little bit more sturdy, but it's just as good with the one layer. So if you're looking for a sympathy card, there you go, quick and easy, but still very, very pretty, and shows that you're thinking about somebody at a difficult time. So there you go. I'll leave all of the details over on my blog, scrimpingmommy.co.uk. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you again soon. Bye.